Hey guys, it's Maymay, and if you were here with us on Tuesday night, you would have seen this little purse multiple gift card holder. See how it holds all the little gift cards inside? And when we met on Tuesday, I said, you know, not everybody needs a purse, so I'm also going to bring you a backpack in this style. Now, I don't have one to show you because I haven't made one yet. We're going to make it here together. I think I know how it's going to go together pretty easy, so let's get started. Here's what you're going to do. You're going to take 6 pieces. Now, this will hold 6 gift cards. You can edit that any way you want, but I'm going to take 6 pieces that are 3.5 by 5, okay? So I've already cut those down, and now we're going to score them. So we're going to take these into our scoreboard on the 5-inch side, and we're going to score them at 2 1/4 and 4 1/2. And everyone needs to be scored just like that, 2 1/4, 4 1/2 on all 6 pieces. Now that those are scored, we need to fold them and crease them. Now here's what I want to do. I want to fold them large. I know that sounds weird when I say that, but here's what I mean. I'm not trying to bring this piece super tight in. I'm just going to fold it, and if it's a little bit roomier than usual, you know, if we end up being more to the inside of our score line than normal, that's okay. Here's why. My gift cards that I'm using, a standard gift card, are 2 1/4. So this is really close to the size of the gift card. Let me show you what I mean. If you need to edit, that's where you'll edit. But you see how snug that fits? I like for it to fit snug because I want it to stay in. But if you see that it's too snug, use this area to kind of move that score mark out a little bit, and you can gain a little bit of room. And I'll show you because that's what I'm doing here. So I'm just moving that out a little bit. Got a good old crease right there. And then I'll show you how much easier just moving that score mark out the tiniest bit. See how much easier that goes? So pay attention to that. I made these snug. If you wanted to add a little bit, you could. If you wanted to add like 1/8 of an inch, y'all know me, I just try to avoid 8ths. So I'm just going to get that same measure by just moving my score mark out as far as I can. And you can do that on both sides. Just try to push that out and gain a little room there. I hope that makes sense. Otherwise, just fold them, and if they're a little bit tight, you can always just kind of loosen them with your glue, just not glue them quite so snug together. When you get to this point right here, you can always push this back a little bit. I would suggest in your craft room, and this is for all the time, keep yourself an old gift card, like a used one or a spent gift card, so you can use it whenever you're sampling or making different projects for gift card holders. It's always good to have one on hand just to be like the tester for the size. All right, we got all these guys done. Now what we need to do is, just like in our other video when we made the purses, we're going to glue these guys shut right along that tab. Now you can use sticky tape if you would like. I'm using art glitter glue for time's sake mostly because it really doesn't matter here. Either the tape or the glue won't get in the way. So just glue these guys shut, and then we'll move on to the next step. While I'm doing this, in our last video, one of the comments was, I would never give somebody that many gift cards in one package, you know, like, 6 at a time. Well, we've actually had people send us multiple gift cards in a pack because they've sent it for our team. So it was one gift with multiple gift cards for the whole team. So that's kind of where this came from. But here's what I want to tell you. Every one of these pockets doesn't have to hold a gift card. One person mentioned putting the receipt for the gift card in front of it. So instead of giving 6, giving 3 gift cards and 3 receipts. I think it'd be cute to do some little sentiment pieces where, they're like almost like journal spots or something where you could just write to them or give them cute, decorate them with stamps or something like that. Almost like making little tags to sit in every other one. Some people mentioned gift cards and even making this a cash gift. Instead of putting gift cards in, just put cash in. So think outside the box. And, I can understand you might not want to give that many gift cards to one person, but there's other things you can slide into the little slots. All right, next spot. We need to do our little punch so that these are easy to get out. If you leave this like this, it's hard to pull the gift card out. So you do want to do this. I'm going to lay this down onto my work surface just to find the center. And we only have to do this once. I'm going to find the center of this guy right here. Then I'm going to take my 1-inch circle punch. You could use a smaller one. I just think this one is a good size. And I'm not going quite half. I am going a little deep. I want to be able to see the gift card in here, okay? So I'm going to go almost half. It won't affect the pocket at all. And now I'm going to punch this. I was punching these facing up and they fly all over the room, so I decided to do it like that. Now, for me, this matters, okay? When you assemble this guy, I think this looks better if all of those little thumb pieces are pretty much in the same spot. So what I'm going to do is just lay this down on top of the next one and trace my little mark. So when I'm punching, it's easy to find exactly where the one before was. And again, it will not be exact. This is homemade paper craft, but it'll be pretty close. So just, and that mark doesn't even have to be great. That one is really bad because I didn't even try. But let's do it again. There we go. But that mark just needs to kind of give you really how deep to go down and how far in the center to line up your punch. All right, I'm going to punch all of these guys. So now I've got all 6 of them built and punched, and see how that pretty much lines up? Now, here's the fun part. This is the mechanism. This is what makes this work. All you have to do is run a bead of glue right down the center of one of the pockets and stack the other one on top, and then let that dry. Now, you can continue stacking as it's drying. It's one strip of glue. This is what gives us the accordion effect, so that it opens in such a way, you know how it fans out? That's what this does. Can you do this with sticky tape? You sure can. You can just run a bead of sticky tape or a piece of sticky tape down the middle and just use it in place of the art glitter glue, but it works just as good with the wet glue. And you can see how each time I do the strip of glue, I pick this guy up and lay it all together even. That's just a good practice so you know that everything's kind of lining up like it should. One more. These go so fast. Those little purses don't use much paper. You can dig into your scrap bin, and these get made really quick. Now I'm going to let this dry for a second, but you can see how that's going to accordion. I'll show you that when it's a little drier. So I'm going to put that aside, and let's work on the backpack portion. Now for my backpack, I'm going to make a black backpack, and then I'm going to decorate it with other pattern paper. This piece is 11 by 3.5, okay? And on the 11-inch side, here's the score marks you need to make. We're going to make one at 2 inches, one at 6 1/4, one at 6 3/4, and that is all of the score marks we have to make for our little backpack piece. Now, I decided to add a little pocket to the front, and I'm going to tell you, I considered making it a dimensional pocket. I saw some like that online. I thought they were really cute, but this little guy's so small, that dimensional pocket was a little bit heavy. So I'm deciding to do a gusseted pocket. That'll give it a little bit of movement, but not be completely top heavy to the front. So here's what you need. This piece is 4 inches by 2 inches. And what we're going to do it's by 2.5 inches, I'm sorry, so 4 by 2.5. What we're going to do is on the 2.5-inch side, I'm going to score this at 2 inches. Then I'm going to turn it to the 4-inch side. I'm going to score it at 3.5, and then you guys know me, I'm going to turn this around and score it at 3.5 again. All we're doing is scoring 1/2 inch on 3 sides. That's all that is, okay? Then our little pocket will be here at the top. This was the opening will be at the top. Now, let's do this. This little area here, I don't need this little tab, okay? So here's what I'm going to do. I'm just going to take some scissors and cut that away. But I'm going to do it in 2 motions to show you how I do this. When I'm teaching you, this is how I show you. I cut that away, and then I come back and I snip out a little angle just to get rid of some bulk, like that. But in my craft room, when I do this, I just do the angle cut. So I just angle right beside that score mark there, and I just angle right here. So I do that same motion in 1 cut. But I want to show you this way when I'm teaching so you'll understand what I'm doing. But I thought today I would show you in my room, whenever I'm making these for speed, I just do that instead of doing the double cut over here. All right, now, when you close these pockets, this is a gusseted pocket, and this is a practice you should pick up, okay? Always fold your sides in first. The reason for that is when you go to slide something in this little pocket, if you fold this flap up first, this edge, let me show you, I'll get this scored and I'll show you. This edge becomes a stopper. Let me show you what I mean. If I put this one in first and then these on top of that, that little piece, when I slide a piece of paper in, let me grab something I can slide in there. Might be hard to see because it's black, but you can see here when I go to slide something in, that becomes a little stopper right there, okay? But if I fold these sides down first and then this one over the top, when I slide something in, it helps because that little side gusset pushes the piece down into the bottom. That'll make sense if you ever have it mess up on you. That's what I know. All right, before we fold this guy, at the top where I have that 2-inch score mark, I want to corner around the little edges. This is the flap that folds over the backpack. And corner rounding these edges makes all the difference. I really do think that it does. Now I'm just going to fold and crease on all my lines, and you'll see our backpack come together right before your eyes. I have not assembled one of these completely. I did do a little sample of this piece to make sure my measurements were right, but I have not glued it start to finish and seen it in its completion yet. We're going to see that together in the video. All right, so now I have that little 1/2 inch base. This guy lines up right here at the top, and my little flap comes over. And this is how I wanted my backpack to look, you know, just like a real backpack, how they're bigger at the bottom and thinner at the top most of the time. That's kind of what we're going for. All right, now what we can do is we can glue this guy in. Now, the way we're going to do it is just like we did with our little purse. Let me grab my glue. I'm going to fill this side with glue. And this is going to be what helps our little accordion piece work. We don't have to do anything to the bottom. We don't have to close it up. The base of our backpack is going to do that for us, okay? All we need to do is eyeball center this right above that first score line inside our little backpack area, okay? So let me show you what I mean. I'm going to put this down, and I'm not quite center, maybe too late, and I'm going to go with it if I am. There we go, a little better. So you can see here that I scored it, I glued it right above that first score line before our little spine starts. Now what I want to do is I want to bring this side and glue it to the other side of the backpack. That's what's going to make this guy fan open when we open our little backpack up. So just like we did with our purse, what I'm going to do is turn this over, and I'm not going to be able to press down because this guy is accordioned, and so it squishes really too far down when I do that. What I'm going to do instead is turn this over, and you won't be able to see this, but I'm sticking my bone folder inside the first gift card slot and pressing it to the front. So that way, this guy will adhere together. And look, our little top piece here is going to give us that curve. The little bit of pressure we're getting here is what's giving us that backpack curve. We're going to apply a magnet here. So while this is drying, I'll get my magnets ready. So I'm using the small basic gray magnets. We'll have all these products linked in the description for you below if you've never used these before. But these are the smaller of the two sizes they have available. And I'm using my tweezers today solely because I do not have my pokey tool in here. I have not brought it back since our last in-person event, and so it's not in my room. I'm going to place this a little bit in, about a 1/2 inch, or really like 3/8 of an inch in from the edge there. And I'm just going to stick that down with that adhesive that's on the magnet already. Now I'm going to release the backer from the back of this magnet, and this exposes our second half of the magnet. And when we close this up, you got to pay attention because wherever it goes is where it's closing. So see how I'm pushing that in there to get that curve? And then I'm going to press this down, and that now is the base of our backpack done, okay? So when we open it like this and the recipient opens it, check it out. Isn't that cute how all the little gift cards fly out? All right, let's now install our pocket. All right, so the next thing we're going to do is start covering this guy, okay? So before we install our pocket, I want to get this guy covered in some decorative paper. I'm using this little polka dot. I think it's cute, but that plaid is cute too. It's hard for me to decide. But I think I'm going to do the little polka dot. So I'm going to put some glue on the back of this one. By the way, the dimensions for these will be in the description below, these little pieces. I cut them 1/4 of an inch smaller than our backpack so we could get that little edge like we do in card making. So you'll see here I have this little black border, and I like that. I think it just kind of gives a little extra something. Now, I'm not going to cover this side, and the reason is this. This has a little bit of tension on it when we close it, and I don't want to weaken this magnet anymore. This one piece laying over is enough. You may want to cover that side, but I kind of like how that's going to be, and I want to make sure it stays good and sturdy to hold that down. And if we were to put another piece here, it would change the strength of our magnet, so I'm not going to do it. I'm going to leave it like that. I am going to cover this piece, and that's what I'm going to do with the little snowflakes here. Now, I want to mimic that little corner, so I'm going to go back to my corner rounder, and I'm going to round this corner at the 1/2 inch, just like the other, and then I'm just going to glue this down. We'll have the link for the paper and everything, too, that I'm using for you guys below. This will go right here. This is cute. I love the little snowflakes. So now we're looking like this on the front. Isn't that cute already? All right, for the back, well, let's do the pocket first, and there's a reason. I'll show you why. Let's get this pocket done. So in our pocket, I'm just going to put a little piece of that snowflake right here. I think that'll be cute on the front. And for me, it's easier to put it on now than when I get it glued on. Won't have to think about it then. Again, the same thing. I just cut this 1/4 of an inch smaller than our little pocket area. And what I'm going to do on the back is I'm going to tack these little flaps down. I'm going to put a little glue here and a little glue here and go ahead and turn this over and tack it into place. Don't worry about any glue that seeps over. It's all going to go to the back. See how that is? It'll all go to the onto the backpack. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to apply glue all the way around and put this onto the front of our backpack. So cute. I am going to try to line it up pretty well, leaving kind of the same distance all the way around if I can. There we go. Isn't it starting to look like a backpack? I think it's super cute. All right, what makes a backpack a backpack? This area, right? The straps and all that good stuff. We're going to use this piece to help us build that. Now, this is my plan. Let me show you what I'm working with. So I have 2 pieces that are 8 by 1/2 inch, and then I have a piece that is 4 by 3/8. This piece is going to be my little loop at the top for a backpack. I'm going to treat it like I did the purse handle. I'm going to do it like this, but I think I'm going to turn it around when I glue it down and glue it to the inside and have this kind of polka dot facing forward. So what that means is I'm going to flip this over, okay, and I'm going to glue this in this manner where the handle is going to be on the inside. So that means I want to put glue out here, and I'll go ahead and put one side down first. I'll put it, say, here, and you can play with these handles if you want them bigger or smaller, what have you. So glue that one down like that. The trick for the handle is don't twist it. Don't take it and go straight down. See how that twists it? What you want to do is you want to reach up here and bring it around, and you want it to be like that. Now this on the inside is not going to show, so don't worry how that looks. Don't worry how it's starting to look back here. Just get it glued into place, because this is going to get glued onto the backpack, and this will actually be coming out as if you had sewn it together. So I'm going to push that forward a little bit and get that kind of into its spot. So you see that's how that's going to be on the back of the backpack, and I'm not centered at all. I think I'll move this one over so it'll look a little more centered. You get to see the real deal here. I'm sure this happens in your craft room. Let's see if that looks better. Yes, much better. Okay, so I'm going to get that glued down. And I'm going to push this down on my work surface and just push this back because I think it looks cuter like that. Okay, now what I want to do with these guys, you have options. You can just have them come like this out the side, so the backpack straps are to the side, or you can bring them to the middle in between here and then work your way to the side. So both of your straps can come, I'll put one here. So both of your straps can come from here and also here. So you'll stack them on top of each other. And then you'll bring one over and one over. This is how I like it. This is what I'm going to attempt to do. So let me show you how I'm going to do it. I'm going to add a little bit of glue here. And when I put this guy in, I'm going to put him at an angle. See how I'm kind of turning him that way and bringing him at an angle? That's what I want to do. Do the angles have to be perfect and match? No, you're still going to get the look of a backpack. Now I'm going to put glue on top of him and bring the other one in and also turn him at an angle, but the opposite way. So see how I've got those glued like almost like an X? And you're already noticing these are too long. They are. I needed extra because I didn't want to not have enough. Now I'm going to take this guy and I'm going to put it underneath like this. See how that's going? And I'm just going to leave as much as I want it to be. And I might even want a little bit less of a pop. That feels good right there. And then where I like it, I'm just going to give it a little squish like that. See how I just wrapped it around? Again, I knew these would be too long, but I wanted to have plenty of space, and I want them to stay in. I don't want them to pop out. And with this much being glued down, this is not going to pop out, you know, in transport or anything like that. You guessed it. We're going to do the same thing on the other side. We're going to try to match up our little loop here to try to get them about the same. That's pretty close. See if I can take it down a little bit there. And now I'll glue this one into place. You don't have to be this fancy. You can just glue little straps to the back. It's no big deal. It'll still look like a little backpack. But I just think that's kind of cute, all tucked underneath like that. And then this is going to get glued to the back of our backpack. Isn't that cute? Little straps. They may be too long for you. You may like them a little shorter. You do you. Whatever you like. All right, I'm going to glue this down really well because I don't want it to come off. And I just think this thing is super cute. All right, I'm going to line it up at the bottom first, just because I can see that better. Then get it to the top. Now, you can't squish it. You know, you can't squish your little straps, really, but you can kind of fold them and kind of tell them exactly where you want them to go and then rub that glue down. And this is so cute to me. Look how cute this is. I love this. I love how that's tucked inside. I actually love how that's showing that little plaid to give it another look. And look at our little backpack. And you can open it up, and inside there are all our little gift card holders in there. Isn't that adorable? I love this. I love the challenge you guys give me when you like these projects that I haven't done before, and this was a fun one. So here's my take on the backpack. I probably would bring that in a little bit. I tell you what we can do. We could do that. Let's do that. Let's glue these little straps down a little bit, and that will take up a little bit of the puffiness. So just adding a little glue behind them, just pushing it down with my finger like that. That'll be cute. That'll take a little bit of the puffiness off. It's still, you know, got dimension, but it's not quite like it was. But I love it. I think it's super cute. I know a lot of people in my life that would love to get something like this. You could hang this on the tree. How cute would that be, hanging on the tree? Oh my goodness. Here's the deal. I know you guys are going to go with it. You're going to run with this idea and make it so much better than I did, because you always do. But now you have the measurements that I would use. All of that's in the description for you below. And I cannot wait to see your creations. And to see them, head to MaymayMadeIt.com to our customer gallery. And that's where we'll be able to see what you guys are doing and your take on the little backpacks. So thank you so much for being here. Thanks for the challenge to do the multi-gift card. If you missed this video, the little purse, which could be a briefcase, could be a toolbox, whatever you want it to be, we'll have that one linked in the description for you below as well. Thanks so much for being here today. And until next time, bye now.